Today we're going to take a look at the Sport wireless headset from Beyond. All right, so I've looked at quite a few different Bluetooth headphones over the last 6 months. And frankly, there's a lot more out there. I could be looking at a bunch of them and generally they just don't look that interesting to me. However, this headset from Beyond was a little bit different and different enough that I thought it was worth checking out. So the things that make the Beyond Sport wireless headset different, two things, one of which I've kind of already ruined for myself. But the first one, the one that really makes this interesting, is that of all the Bluetooth earbuds that I've looked at, this is the only one that's actually an earbud style. It's not an in-ear headphone. Some people prefer in-ear headphones, but I know that there's a lot of people that don't like the in-ear style, right? Where they make a seal. It's really good for bass response. It's really good for closing out or shutting out outside sounds. But sometimes people just don't want that and they prefer sort of a more Apple EarPod style earbud. And that's what this is. And then the other thing that I thought made the Beyond headphones interesting, at least based on the Amazon listing, is that they claim to be noise canceling, which sounded pretty cool. A $24 noise canceling Bluetooth headphone. Unfortunately, it's not exactly what I thought it was. The noise cancellation that these things support it's just microphone noise cancellation, right? Which just means that if you use these for talking on the phone, that noise cancellation is meant to cancel out some like wind noise and stuff that might cut across your microphone. It's not noise cancellation in the way that you might get on like a Bose QC35, where it's meant to further isolate your ears. It's not that kind of noise cancellation. Anyway, that's everything I know about the Beyond so far. Let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. I'll give it a listening test and we'll figure out if it's good or bad. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the box of the Beyond Sport wireless headset. What's kind of interesting is that there's no branding on this. It just says headphone, Sport wireless headset. This is super minimalistic. There are no features claimed on here, but based on the Amazon listing, what can I tell you about it? One thing that they claim on the Amazon listing is that it is Bluetooth 4.1 and it supports multi-point pairing. That's the thing I'm gonna try out just to make sure, because when headphones do support multi-point pairing, it's pretty convenient. It's always a little clumsy. I've never had a Bluetooth headphone that did multi-point pairing, but did it in a way that wasn't a little clumsy, but it is a nice feature to have for sure. The claimed battery life is not extreme. It's only 4 hours, which is, I mean, compared to something like the Dudios, I think the Dudios is like 6 to 8 hours. So if you're looking just for battery life, this is probably not it, but again, there's nothing else out there really like this. All of the Bluetooth earbuds that are similar to this are the in-ear style that create a seal. If you don't want that, you don't have a lot of options. This one might be it though. It might be worth sacrificing some of that battery life to get the headphone style that you like. And then the last thing worth pointing out is that these claim to have a magnet inside of them, so that's just like a convenient little feature. I really like that with the Dudios. You can wrap them around your neck, have the magnet hold them in place. You don't have to worry about them falling off when you're walking around and you don't have the earbuds in your ear. That's a good feature. We'll test out the magnet, make sure that it is nice and strong. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and crack it open. All right, we've got the Beyond Sport wireless headset unboxed, and this is what you get in the box. It is a pretty typical offering for this sort of headphone. You get, of course, a USB micro charging cable. It's always USB micro. You get instructions, which is actually a pretty thick instruction manual. It's in multiple language, but this is definitely more instructions than you normally get with a Bluetooth headphone. Hopefully, I don't need them. You also get some interesting accessories. You get a little clip that you could attach to the cord, I suppose. You get this, which lets you cinch up the cord. That's a nice little touch. I always like it when they include that. And I think that these are optional. I'm gonna go ahead and try wearing these without the wingtips, but these little silicone wingtips, these are, I don't know, little condom styles that'll slip over the top of the earbud and give you a little wing design, which will hold them in place. And then here we got the device itself, which is fairly typical. You know, the length of it is about the same that you would get on other Bluetooth earbuds. You do have the earbuds themselves, which, like I mentioned, are the earbud style and not an in-ear seal style. So this looks a lot like an Apple EarPod, at least right here, right? On the outside, doesn't look at all like an Apple EarPod. And then I think these are actually really handsome looking. This is a real metal finish as far as from what I can tell. Magnet seems pretty strong, and I love that metal finish. It gives it kind of a satisfying sound when you're opening and closing the magnetic clasp. I have my Dudios, which I use a lot, and they also have the magnetic backing. And for whatever reason, this is just like, it's like its own feature in itself. It's just the sound. You get a pretty simple round cable, and then you get a controller over here, which predictably has a USB micro charging port on one side. It's got a volume up, volume down, and then a button with a phone icon on it. I assume that's just like the multi-point or the multi-function play, pause, etc., etc. So yeah, that's about as much as I can tell you about the Beyond headset without listening to it. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and sync it up to my phone, and I'll try also syncing it up with my laptop so I can try out that multi-point pairing, see how that works out. And then I might also compare it a little bit to the Dudios just for a direct comparison. If you haven't watched another video I have a video where I broke down a bunch of different Bluetooth headphones, and the Dudios were my favorite. So I'm gonna hold these up against the Dudios, which is, maybe that's not fair because the Dudios are the best, but we'll hold them up against those and we'll see what differences we got. All right, so I've just finished listening to the Sport wireless headset from Beyond, ready to let you know what I think about them. So it's not a bad headset. The sound quality it's not up to par with some of the better in-ear headsets that I've reviewed on this channel before, like the Dudios. The Dudios pretty much blow these out of the water just in terms of sound quality, but that doesn't mean that these things are terrible. I think the sound quality is decent. It sounds, you know, about on par with what you would get with just like the stock Apple EarPods. And of course, similar to the stock Apple EarPods, there's basically no noise isolation with these. But if you're getting this style headset, that's probably what you're after, right? You want something that isn't sealing up your ear and is letting in some outside sound just so that you're a little bit more aware of your surroundings. And so it does that. I was able to successfully pair these to both my laptop and my phone at the same time. And basically, like any other multi-point pairing, it's a little bit clumsy to set up, but it's possible. And then even once you have it set up, like it takes a while. You can't listen to both devices at the same time. You have to like pause one device, wait a few seconds for this to give up on getting audio from that device, and then you can start playing audio out of the other device. It's the same as any other multi-point pairing, no better, no worse. So it's a good feature that's nice to have, but I still think that Bluetooth has a little bit of a ways to go before that becomes as good as it really should be. In terms of fit in the ear, these fit pretty loose. I actually don't really have a problem with stock EarPods. They've always worked pretty well for me. These are a little bit looser than that. And then it does get helped if you used the optional wingtips, right? I showed those wingtips that you can put on these. They kind of fit over like a condom or like a glove that sits on top of the EarPod. And then it gives you hooks that fit into your ears. I think both the addition of the hook and the silicone covering on this makes it fit and makes it much more secure in the ear. And then one other small quibble I had with this headset is that the controller that sits on the cord, I'm not sure if it's because it's so far down from the ear or maybe it's a little bit heavier than some of the other ones, but just during normal wear, if I have this headband around my neck, the weight of the controller starts to pull the cord down so that now all of the cable is on one side of my neck and then not over here. And that kind of happens really with all of these Bluetooth earbuds that have this unevenly distributed weight, but it's happening much more easily on the Beyond headphones. So yeah, sound quality is not fantastic, but it's not bad. Functionality is pretty good, not the greatest. If I were to rate these things out of 5 stars, I'd give the Beyond headphones, I give them 3 stars out of 5. I think it's a pretty good offering, especially if you're looking for this style of an earbud that doesn't seal up your ear. This is really the only option I've seen out there, and it does a pretty decent job. It's only about 24 bucks on Amazon. If you're interested in checking it out, you can find a link down below. While you're down there, go and hit the like button for this video if you liked the video, and then you can subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next super review.